Are you the kind of person who puts together lengthy to-do lists every single day? Are you someone who constantly works overtime at every possible opportunity at your job? Or maybe you stay up all night playing video games or reading. Perhaps you're the type of person who aspires to look like a Dorito because you love going to the gym so much. While this behavior doesn't seem to be so bad in certain circumstances, this very well could be a sign of something darker, an addiction that you haven't anticipated or expected, especially if your latest muse is something that is genuinely benefiting your life. In short, it's a dopamine addiction, and it's something that a lot of us actually struggle with these days. It's more so the fact that not a whole lot of us actually realize it. But whether it's from video games, our smartphones, tablets, computers, or our local gym, one of the most unexpected but not so surprising sources of dopamine addiction is actually the self-help industry itself. For centuries, the self-help industry has been a big advocate for dopamine, with more recent arguments showing off scientific studies to prove that dopamine is actually very good for you and that you should be experiencing it as much as possible. And while that is true, the important caveat here is that it's only good for you up to a certain point. Going to the gym and being physically fit is a good thing, we can agree with. But if you're trying to look like a Dorito in both figure and in color, well, something has gone wrong here.
He's blasted himself off into space! What has science done?
That is not normal behavior for someone trying to lose weight or be physically fit. The issue is self-help has never really considered other things outside of just the feel-good vibes that they're trying to produce. To them, dopamine is always this great and fantastic thing that we should always be seeking out, but we don't actually realize the actual costs that come from always seeking more and more dopamine or more and more of that high that we're seeking. It's to the point that their work often involves just selling a course that they swear enables us to do more of that stuff, even though there are a lot of problems with specific programs, specific mindsets, and so on and so forth. And despite all of that, the reason people keep coming back to those gurus is because dopamine is so addictive and a powerful force in our lives. We love the idea of having no ceiling at all to our own growth and our own desires. But as regrettable as that may be, we do actually have limits, and believing otherwise could very well mean you have a dopamine problem. So let's talk about dopamine, specifically in how we can actually handle it properly in our lives without throwing ourselves off into the deep end. And fortunately for you, I've devised a strategy on how to do just that, despite the fact that I also have some dopamine issues, and by all means my strategy isn't flawless. It has helped me out significantly in my own journey. The first is that I establish an idea bank. What I mean by this is noticing opportunities in your own life and jotting things down. Whether it's idle thoughts or things that you've noticed in town or online, building up an idea bank right now can be useful for the future in a great many ways. The idea bank is a very flexible tool that you can integrate into your own life however you see fit. As a writer, my idea bank focuses more on writing topics and ideas for future articles. Yours could be jotting down business ideas, people that you want to connect with, or your books that you want to be reading. Whatever the case may be, you want to make it your own and make it into something you can reasonably act on. Maybe not immediately, but something that you can strive for at a later time. After that, you really want to be taking some time to be fleshing out those ideas into actual actions in your life and things that you can be building towards. In addition to creating your own incentives to check your idea bank, it helps when you go back and make edits to your idea bank in the first place. Much like our own desires, our ideas change over time and as we develop, and we think over how to make certain things happen in our own lives. We want to be excited about these things, but just enough to check and nurture our previous thoughts and to change them around into something that's clearer and more obvious and something that we can resonate with.
Coco, you're changing!
Obviously, this depends on what kind of idea bank that you are building up in the first place, but taking some steps to just brainstorm some ideas on how to be making some of that stuff happen is just a good idea to be doing and can help with creating some genuine dopamine and excitement for yourself and taking more control of your life. If you've made it this far, then chances are likely that you have the time, focus, and the energy to do the things that need to get done. So it's only natural for you to start acting upon all of that. The idea is that these strategies are supposed to be rigid to some extent, but they still can flow with what's feeling good for you at that moment. You want to be able to focus on the task at hand, but not have it so rigid that if you have to deviate for some reason, it's not going to be the end of the world for you. Life is really unpredictable, and changing tactics midway can be very beneficial if it calls for it. Beyond that, what I find when it comes to planning and executing your plans, these specific things help me out a lot in making that happen. The first is making what you need to do a natural part of your day. Think of habit stacking, where you add a small habit that you want to do with the rest of your usual routines. It's something small and slight, but it is a very effective way in just building up your habits and trying something new. Second is keeping lists brief. For my article ideas, I tend to just stick with titles or just general thoughts as just ideas to be banking off of. I don't focus too much on all of the specific details, like what headings am I going to be doing, how do I want to be introducing the topic or anything like that. I just stick with the main title and just go from there. And the last element is to make the tasks actually challenging and difficult. What I mean is that the tasks are things that you don't regularly do in any given day. These are things that you are trying to develop habits for and that you're trying to reinforce. So they require a little bit more mental fortitude than something like making your bed or brushing your teeth or combing your hair and doing all of the usual just like morning routine stuff that you already do. You want to be focusing on something that actually requires some more brain power from you and is something that you kind of have to go out of your way to do.
Whoa, Mondo cool!
That's right, boys. Mondo cool.
The final step is to be embracing the process of all of it, as well as your own emotions that you're experiencing in that moment. The trick with this overall strategy is that this is supposed to curb your expectations. It allows you to filter your emotions of those highs into something that is actually more tangible and realistic for yourself.
Yes! That's awesome!
You're not just basking in good ideas or some hype that gurus are giving you. You're converting that into actual actions that fit in line with your own life, rather than taking every word that a guru is telling you. You're still going to be able to experience that high payoff and that dopamine rush of accomplishing a task and feeling good about yourself, but you're going to be able to keep it more in line with your overall big goal that you have in mind, the big target, the big objective that you really want to be aspiring for, and that this is in actuality just a little step forward towards that goal or desire that you have in your life. You go for something because you genuinely want it and you have a vested interest in it. At the end of the day, a lot of gurus want you to experience those high highs for one specific reason, to keep you coming back and never actually growing and improving yourself. They want you to feel that big rush that you can actually do something, even though they don't really want you to be succeeding in your life. They want you to keep on buying their courses, their products, whatever, in order to keep you hooked, but not really growing. It's a really big problem, but I believe that my solution that I've just provided is one way to start changing some of that and addressing this issue. Instead of acting on your goals or your raw desires and craving that dopamine rush, you'll be able to feel genuine satisfaction and actually focus on the tasks that matter most to you and get the results that you actually want in your life. And I wish nothing but that for you. And that is all that I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching the entirety of this video. I would really appreciate it if you left a like on this video, as well as subscribe to this channel for more content like this in the future.